Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, it's so nice to be out here together. It felt like summer last week, but it'll be summery again. Don't worry. But this is our first Shabbat evening in the garden, the first of the whole summer, as long as the weather holds up. Please turn to your neighbors. Make sure you know everybody around you. Wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. Everybody should have a copy of our Siddur, Mishkan Tefillah. If you don't, Rob has them up front here. Everybody can participate. And we actually will begin with a reading not in your Siddur, but this is Rabbi Nachman's prayer. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, one of the early Hasidim. God grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors, each day among the trees and grass, among all growing things, and there may I be alone and enter into prayer and talk to the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the foliage of the field, all grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming, to send the powers of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and speech are made whole through the life and spirit of all growing things, which are made as one by their transcendent source. May I then pour out the words of my heart before your presence like water, O Eternal, and lift up my hands to you in worship on my behalf and on that of my children. We turn to the middle of page 10 as we sing Yedid Nefesh. For those of you who haven't been in an outdoor service, I should mention we're in a flight path and there's a train right there. So at some point during the service, we may have to wait a few minutes, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Let us turn to page 20 and 21 as we welcome in the Shabbat Kala singing Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we come to the last verse, we'll stand and face the entrance to the garden to welcome in the Shabbat bride.
La 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Likra Kala. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel. La 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Likra Kala. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ish b'yanu el ha'miyuchad Adonai echad v'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'lit gilah. Lai lai lai, ya la 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 la, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 la, Likra Kala. Ya la 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 la, B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel. Likra Shabbat. Lechu v'nelcha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Lai lai lai, ya la 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 la, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 la, Likra Kala. Ya la 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 la, B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel.
Verse 5.
Hitoreri, kivarech komi ori, shidaberi, kivod Adonai, alayik nigla. Lai lai lai, ya la 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 la, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 la, Likra Kala. Ya la 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 la, B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel.
We rise. Verse 9.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'tzola toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lai lai lai, ya la 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 la, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 la, Likra Kala. La 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 la, B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Nikabel. La 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 la, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 la, Likra Kala. Ya la 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 la, B'nai Shabbat.
145.
Ikadav ikadash mirabah Yamadi barach hirute v'yamlich malchute B'chayei chon av yom echon U'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Pagalo v'zman kariv V'imru Amen Yesh mirabah mevorav Le'olam olam me'amaya Yitmarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrom v'yitnaseh v'yitodor v'yitala v'yitalal shemedi kodesh ha'berichu le'ela min koberchata v'shirata tosh bechata v'nechemata tamiran me'ama v'yimeru Amen.
We rise.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Page 147. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitfuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimu mishpatim, otanu limadetam. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimu mishpatim, otanu limadetam. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shokmenu ufkomenu, nasi bechukecha, v'nizrach b'divrei Torah Elohim Utanu Limadeta. Al tasir mimenu liolamim, Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Ohei bamo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Abad.
Please be seated. Page 150.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miotecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Bishinantam levanecha, bidibartam, bishivtecha, bevetecha, uvlachtecha, vaderech, ushokbecha, uvkomecha, ukshartam lehot, ayadecha, dehayu letotafot, beinenecha, uktavtam, al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim le'elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'od lachem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem emet.
On page 151, we read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart. There is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Daylight. Oh, save Vanna. Oh, save Vanna. Oh, save Vanna. Nehemar kibadai Adonai Jacob Golomi at Chazak Mimenu Baruch at Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Ka Yisrael.
Amen. Page 153. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch at Adonai
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu v'Yakol Amo Yisrael v'Al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Continue singing Vishamru on page 154.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Shabbat, le dorotam berit olam. Ki shishet yamim, ki shishet yamim, asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shavuot v'yinufush v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
On page 155, we rise for tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach u'vi'agita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol Gibor Menorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Atovim B'konei HaKol V'zocher Chasei Avot Ve'imahot U'mevii Geula Libnei B'neihem Le'mod Shemo B'Yama Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rab Le'Hoshia Morid Hatal Mechapel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayei Metim B'Rachamim Rabim Zomech Noflim B'Nofei בחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני הקדוש.
Please be seated. Page 159. Ata kidashta et yom hashvi'i lishmecha. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah. The heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Page 161.
Ritzei, Ritzei, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Yamachai Yisrael, U'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, U'tehi l'ratzon tamid, U'tehi l'ratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amecha, Lecho Korav, El Karov, Lecho Korav, Pnei El Avadecha V'chanenu, Shefuch Ruchacha Aleinu, B'techez Einayneinu, B'shuvacha L'Tzion B'rachamim. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion, lemachazir shechinato l'Tzion.
Page 163. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world, with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Hatov Shimcha Luchana Elohadot.
Amen. We continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace on page 164.
Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lecho hashalom.
take a few moments now to pray or meditate in silence. Page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Yishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. We ask God's blessing upon those we love who are in need of healing. If anyone here or at home has the name of a loved one for whom our healing prayer might bring comfort, please share their name with us now. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem, Lahachalimam u'lerapotam u'lahachazikam, Vayishlach lahem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf, hashtabe agala u'vizman kariv v'nomar, Amen.
Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lahabotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I'd like now to call upon Lori Kay and Derek Johnson and their new daughter, Nyla Etana Johnson, who will receive her Hebrew name. Here she comes. She's 2 months old today, yes? Very sweet. Come on right over here. God and Creator, your children have come into your presence with grateful hearts to reflect on their responsibilities as parents. Give them wisdom to teach their child to be faithful to the heritage of the household of Israel, that she may grow up with the knowledge that you are always near to her, guiding and sustaining her. Keep open her eyes and spirit, that she may ever be conscious of the beauty and wonder of your world. And let her learn to love the goodness that is in all people, that she may ever nourish the goodness that has been implanted within her. Though none can escape sorrow and pain, we humbly ask for her the courage to face evil, the faith to transcend it. Grant the faith to transcend it and the strength to subdue it. Grant her health of mind and of body, that she may enjoy fullness of years and live to do your will in faithfulness. And let us say,
Amen. Mishabeira Kabotenu Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov Bimotenu Sararif Kalea Berachela Uyevarek Tayata Araka Hazort Biskua Bihabi Mahalegadla Lechan Chagul Chakama Biuyadeha Nilibale Lemuna Binomar Amen.
May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless this child with life and health. May she be a joy to her family. May she live to bring honor to the house of Israel, blessings to humanity, and glory to the name of God. And we say, Amen. We ask for the touch of your Spirit on the tender new being with which you have blessed Lori and Derek in our outdoor sanctuary. And in the presence of this holy congregation, we give to this child the name Elka Bat Liba, and she is named for her great-grandmother. And so we hope that you will tell Elka the stories of her great-grandmother, that she can take all that was good about her into herself and carry it on through the generations. Oh God, bless Elka Bat Liba with years filled with health, growth, strength of spirit, and abundant love. May the lives of her parents reflect their devotion to you and your Torah, so that they may lead their child in your ways. May the watchword of our faith become guide and guard to Elka Bat Liba throughout her life. I'm going to ask to hold her so I can offer her God's blessing. Hello there. Hi. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you always feel God's presence in your life, and may God grant you the great gift of shalom, of peace, and of wholeness. And together we say,
Amen.
Mwah.
Simin tov,
Mazel
mazel
tov.
tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov. Yehelanu, 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 Olecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Olecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Olecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Olecha Yisrael.
Mazel tov to the three of you, the whole family. We have for you a certificate of naming and a starter bag from PJ Library so that she can start reading Jewish books right away, which includes, I believe, a certificate to sign up for PJ. So she'll get a new Jewish book every month. There you go. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. You're very welcome. That's it. That was the easy part. Now you've got to raise her. So, you know, there's that. So as advertised, it is the Shabbat before my vacation and camp. So it's an Ask the Rabbi night. I did receive some questions in advance, but I'll be able to take a couple from the crowd as well. But I'll start with a few of these. So, Larry Gom, thanks for reminding us that the high holidays are coming. He asked this. And I think the cantor may be able to add something to this. He says, is it true that the melody for Kol Nidre was written by a non-Jew? Okay. Probably not, but it would have evolved in the non-Jewish world of Central European music, specifically Gregorian chant. Scholars suggest that it follows some of the basic patterns of German chant. So it may well have been a tune that we borrowed and elaborated upon, which evolved over time as cantors sang it, although I think by the 17th century, I have that here. And a historical legend suggests that it came from Mount Sinai, which it decidedly did not. Moses didn't know it, unless he showed up in the early 17th century or the 14th century in Germany. But in the early 17th century, Rabbi Mordechai Yaffe of Prague, known as the Levush, mentioned that all cantors knew a set melody that was traditional for Kol Nidre. He was actually complaining that the widespread adherence to this melody was hampering his efforts to introduce changes to the words, because everybody knew it so well. There are probably no two synagogues in which the melody is chanted note for note the same every single time. Even our three versions are slightly different. Indeed, if you examine the variants, and I guess scholars have, the first strain is almost always the same, and then there's some variations that happen in between. The musical structure, at least of the Ashkenazi version, is the Sephardic version different? I don't even know. Similar? We all do the same now. Now, it may not have always been that way. Huh? I don't even, I have no idea. But it is an intermingling of cantillation, of trope, with a lot of ornaments. And here's what I found out. The opening of Kol Nidre is what masters of Catholic plain song call a pneuma, a soul breath. Instead of announcing the opening words in a monotone or in any of the familiar declamatory phrases, a chazan of South Germany prefixed a long, sighing tone. Right? Falling to a lower note and rising again, as if only sighs and sobs could find utterance before the officiant could bring himself to inaugurate Yom Kippur. Now, I did find that out as well. If you listen to Beethoven's 14th String Quartet, you will hear something really, really similar, the sixth movement, to our Kol Nidre. Whether he knew ours or we didn't know his because his came later. Maybe he knew Kol Nidre. Max Bruch famously set the piece for, as he heard it, for cello and orchestra. He was Catholic, he wasn't Jewish. And Arnold Schoenberg, who was Jewish, said it as well. So we certainly developed it, Larry. That's all I can tell you. We didn't borrow it straight up from anything. We did that with Hatikva. So anyway, but that's a question for another night. Okay. I have a few questions here from Aya Lederer of Temple Har Zion. She asks a couple things. How come the Chatzi Kaddish and the Mourner's Kaddish are so similar? And the answer is because they are from the same prayer. There are 5 kinds of Kaddish. Okay, Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish, is the one that divides parts of the service, so it's a little shorter. Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, is for mourners to say. Kaddish de Rabbanan is a Kaddish that is said for our teachers. Kaddish Shalem is the complete Kaddish, which we only do around here on Yom Kippur, though it's part of every traditional service toward the end. So it has an extra paragraph, and I'm forgetting the name, the Kaddish for burial, forgetting the name in Aramaic. But there is a burial Kaddish that's specifically said at the Feld, but rarely do we ever do it. We in our congregation definitely don't. The Reform movement doesn't. I don't even know if the conservative movement does. Depends. And even some Orthodox Jews don't. So the reason they're all similar, they're all variations on a theme. And the theme is that the Kaddish, which is mostly in Aramaic, is what's called, in theological terms, a doxology, a statement of faith. So it contains God's name, it contains the sanctification of God, saying that God is holy, and a mention of God's sovereignty. That's what a doxology is. And so it's not a prayer about death, it's not a prayer about burial, it's not a prayer about teachers, but we use it as kind of a general prayer of sanctification. Okay? Kaddish is the Aramaic word for making holy, same as the Hebrew kiddush. So that's why. They're all related, but have little additions. Karen?
And the word Chatzi?
Chatzi means half. Yeah.
It's not really half.
It's not really half, but they call it that. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And sometimes it used to be called the Reader's Kaddish in the prayer book in English sometimes. Yeah. But Chatzi means half. Okay. Aya's second question, why do we sometimes bend our knees and bow, but not all the time when we say Baruch Atah Adonai? The reason we bow at all is because the word Baruch is related to the Hebrew Berach, which means knee. And so it's a way of blessing, showing that God is blessed. The choreography is it's not always, every time we say Baruch Atah Adonai. Over time, the choreography has evolved that we say it just at certain times, okay? And you'll go to different congregations and there'll be different prayers where people do it. Traditionally, it's done at Baruch Hu, and also for two prayers in Tefillah, Avot, which is the very first one, and Modim, which is the one for thanks. And that's related to your last question, which is why is it when we say Osei Shalom at the end of Mourner's Kaddish, we step back and bow to the left, right, and center, but when we sing it, we don't bow. And the reason is that we do that in Mourner's Kaddish because we borrowed it from the end of Tefillah, okay? And the reason is that when we do Tefillah, it is like entering the royal throne room. We're going into God's presence. So traditionally, when we start Tefillah, people take a few steps forward as if they're walking into the throne room, okay? And there are certain points where you bow. I guess if we went into King Charles' throne room, we'd be taught how to do that, right? And then, when you leave the king's throne room, or the queen's, do you turn around and walk out? No, you back out. You never turn your back on the sovereign. So, at the end of Tefillah, which ends traditionally with Osei Shalom, you back up, you bow because there's the ruler, and then you're ready to go. The reason we don't do it when we sing is because we're doing that as a standalone song. That's the reason, okay? All right. Mary Ellen Edwards of Temple Heart Zion had a couple of questions, and this is because she's helping in our library as a volunteer, so I know that's why you asked these, and they're both kind of related. What is the reason given in Torah for phylacteries, which are tefillin, to be buried? And the reason that tefillin need to be buried when they're no longer usable is not because of the tefillin themselves, but because of what's inside. And what's inside are some scrolls written by a sofer that have the text of Shema in them. And because they have Torah text, that's why they have to be buried. And the other question is, what is the name of the place that religious hard copy books are sent to for disposal, and what is the source of verse in the Torah for so doing? I'm not sure of the source verse. I think it may be rabbinic, that we don't erase God's name. I'm pretty sure that's rabbinic. But there are two ways to get rid of sacred texts that have God's name in them that are no longer usable. One is burial, okay, and that's often done at a Jewish cemetery, sometimes with someone who's died. It's an honor to have books buried with you. So sometimes we'll ask families if that's okay. The other is called a geniza, which means a gathering place. And so some congregations, rather than burying, or as an interim until they had a chance to bury, had kind of a repository called the geniza, where books would be just placed in, like, it's kind of crass, but remember hotel rooms used to have that little slot where you could put razor blades? It's kind of like that, just bigger. And then either they would be left there in the walls or something of the synagogue, or eventually they would be collected up and buried. Does anybody know where the most famous geniza came from? Cairo, Egypt. The Maimonides synagogue had a geniza that was discovered in the late 19th century by Jewish scholars, and it had never had anything buried. And so it was literally an archaeological dig. You started at the top with the most recent texts that had been placed there, and by the time they got to the bottom, I believe they were in the 8th century. And those texts were Midrash and Tanakh and Talmud, and you could trace, scholars are still working on them, and you could trace the development of Jewish text from that period all the way into the 19th century. So, yes, Mary.
My grandson, who is in a Hebrew day school,
Uh-huh.
he commented on the fact that his work through the school year
Uh-huh.
for all the kids,
Yep.
they had to take and not destroy it.
Right.
So now I understand.
So those get either buried or genized. Now, in our movement, the Reform movement put out a responsum, a question and answer that says that Jewish books with the sacred name in it should be buried, but that Xeroxes or photocopies could be recycled. Huh?
Same with the
Conservative movement as well. Okay? Because it makes sense in a more environmentally sensitive way that if they've been Xeroxed, and we have hundreds of them for whatever reason, we can recycle them. In the same way that when you bury them, they return to the earth. By recycling them, they return to us, but without waste. So, yep. All right. I think we can take one or two more if anybody wants. No math, no science, please. You will get a nonsense answer. Okay. Karen, did you have one? No? Okay. That's it? Huh?
Kaddish to Rabbanon's the name of the full version of the Mourner's Kaddish. When you were asking what the name of the Mourner's Kaddish was.
Oh, I was talking about the burial
Yeah,
Kaddish.
that is the burial Kaddish.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right. Any others? All right. Thank you, everybody who sent them in. Thank you, Aya. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Mary, for the follow-up. And we will now turn in our Sidurim to page 282 in the middle of the page, and we will rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'alil tereshit, shelo asanu kagoyei haratzot, v'lo samanu kimishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'mohodim, lifnei melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
V'nemar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad.
Bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Bayom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad.
Please be seated. Page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. At this time, our Hartzion family extends its sympathies to our members and their families who have suffered a recent loss. Karen Goodis, Barry, Alan and Cody, Noah and Maya, on the loss of their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Elaine Lipschitz. And we remember those whose yahrzeits we observe this week. Jeffrey Bennett, Marlene Bloom, Nathan Brucker, Annie Konstam, Michael Green, Alexander Grigorovich, Yudi Halberstadt, Max Massel, Maxima Nassau, Jack Rosen, Mia Saltz, Emilian Schatten, Sophie Shapiro, Rose Shurkin, Lillian Siegel, Laura Spergel, Max Wollman, and Eddie Zweigman. And as we do each Shabbat, we remember some of the Jews of our adopted town of Michle, Czech Republic, who perished in the Shoah. Edna Wernerova, Bodanka Wolfova, and Herta Wolfova. And if anyone has a name to add for Kaddish that I did not, please share their name with us now. We ask those observing Shiva, Shloshim, Avelut, or Yahrzeit to please rise. We ask the congregation to rise and join the mourners in love and support. We think too at this time of those members of our armed forces who have died fighting overseas, our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael who have died in so many wars and attacks even just this past week, and all the innocent people of this world who have lost their lives to violence, conflict, hatred, the chaos of nature, or neglect, as together we pray. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divera chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha briachu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like now to call upon Rob Winterstein, a member of our board of directors, who has some greetings and announcements. We'll put you right.
Thank you. On behalf of your board of directors, Shabbat Shalom. At Temple Har Zion, we are proud of our diverse backgrounds and cultural traditions while holding fast to our shared Jewish values. We embrace the importance of inclusivity, diversity, and multiculturalism. Mazel tov to Lori Kay and Derek Johnson on the birth of their daughter, Naila Etana, and to grandparents Rochelle Kay and Saba Kudzi Zadeh. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., breakfast and Torah study with Rabbi Weiss. Morning minyan services are held via Zoom Sundays at 9 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:15 a.m. Please refer to our e-blast, the QR code in the lobby, or go to hartzion.ca for details and links for all our great upcoming programs. THZ is committed to supporting Israel in this unprecedented time of need. Please help support Israel by visiting the dedicated page on our website with links to donation sites, programs, educational materials, and more. Am Yisrael Chai. Bring them home now. Welcome to our visitors. If you're interested in learning more about our temple, please see myself, Rabbi Weiss, or Cantor Littman after the service. If you're streaming our service and have questions, please email info@hartzion.ca. And after the service, please just return your books to the cart as you leave the garden. Thank you for being part of our community. It's where you belong.
Oh. I think I might have done that. Thank you, Rob. And Rico and Noah, thank you so much for making this sound happen tonight. I can't even tell you exactly what they did, but we are running wirelessly from our wireless in the sanctuary up there, through wires to our speakers out here, and we're streaming. Hi, Mom and Dad in North Carolina. Amazing. We've never been able to
Nature's
stream our
compartment.
Friday nights in the summer, and now we can, and we thank you both so much. Thank you, Rob.
Amazing. They said it never could be done.
Huh?
See, you never can say that it can't be done.
Everything is possible.
If you have geniuses working with you.
Well, there we go. There we go. I am leaving on Sunday for the month. I'll be a week at Camp George on faculty and then a few weeks off on holidays. Cantor will be in charge of everything. If you need anything, just get in touch with the temple and we'll make sure everything is just fine. You are in capable hands, and we will conclude singing Shir Hamalot on page 331.
Shir Hamalot B'shuv Adonai.
I have a bug in my piano.
Oh gosh.
okay.
No
Whoops.
bug in the
I'm trying,
piano.
but he's
Literal
crawling-
bug, or-
he's a little guy, but he's crawling right inside. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see if he sings.
Oh, she's braver than I am. Shir Hamalot B'shuv Adonai Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomim Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Sha'im Halot B'shuv Adonai Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomim Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Azimah Yitzchok Vinu Ushonenu Rina Az Yomru V'Hagoyim Igil Adonai Lasot Imelech Shir Hamalot B'shuv Adonai Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomim.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Amen.